Now, most traders have no idea how to properly set yearly goals, goals that help them progress faster and achieve new P&L highs. In this video, we give to you a powerful template so you can do just that. I'm Mike Bellafiore, and we're a long-standing proprietary trading firm located in New York City since 2005 and now Miami as well, and proud to develop numerous consistently profitable traders. Watch, take notes, and learn from our prop firm so you can grow your trading account.
My name is Carlton. I'm just going to introduce myself. I've been with the firm since 2009. I'm a trader here and the risk manager. But what I wanted to do as the start of the year and to kick it off the right way, and to make sure everyone's on the right path, or trying to give you the tools to get to the right path, is I wanted to start off with first, for this meeting, we're going to cover yearly goals. And I have a template that I created, and I'm going to share it with everyone, and you'll be able to use this. And so, again, please feel free to ask questions as we go through this in itself. And then also just to say, I think also, again, it's a really good time to really get into this with your trading, just starting off the year and starting off the right foot in itself. And these are the things that we definitely want to focus on. My whole reason is for doing this is because I really feel good about helping other people get better. I feel that A, it helps me get better, and B, helps other people get better because I want to see other people achieve their goals. And that feels really good seeing someone else succeed, seeing other people succeed, seeing groups succeed, seeing people go through that process of learning, that learning curve, and actually being able to succeed. And my goal here, ultimately, as I mentioned also in the last meeting, again, is usually what I'm seeing as far as success rate is probably 2 out of every 10 traders are successful. I'm trying to double that success rate in itself on a minimum basis of 4 out of 10 at the minimum, or 50% would be a nice goal. Because I think with all the tools, resources, not just with me and maybe in other meetings, I think combining those and really having a tight game plan, trading plan, everything else, you can definitely get on the road to being able to succeed in trading. And this is what also brings me joy as well, because I've been through the whole learning curve in itself. I definitely know it's a long road. Sometimes it can be a lonely road. And again, you just have to really have that grit, have all the right things in place. And I believe this is the right place to start for this year. So, let's go. LFG. This document is here for you to start off and kick off and reflect on goals for 2024. Okay. And, key achievements. These are things that you definitely want to reflect on. Okay. And what you can do in this section here, as far as for the key achievements, is summarize your top accomplishments for the year. Okay. Such as, again, it could be, again, for some of you, maybe started in the mid-year or to the end of the year, or maybe you didn't really have any great necessarily P&L accomplishments. And, because you shouldn't be worrying about P&L at the start of your career. You want to talk about, again, and highlight what are the key achievements from the year. And again, it can be talking about from some of the trainees that are in my group, from taking lead on leadership roles for some of the team meetings. That could be someone like Ozzy. It can be someone like Neil. It can be maybe someone like Nathan, who I just hired on and should be starting in April. Again, to taking a leadership role. It could be successfully completing all your DRCs every day. So again, this is not here for you to necessarily talk about what you did P&L wise as far as achieving your goals. What are real goals, tangible goals in itself that you were able to achieve in 2024? Does anybody want to just mention any of the key achievements they think back reflecting on 2024 that they didn't necessarily, not P&L goals, but a P&L, a goal that they set out for the year and they felt that was a good achievement that did consistently throughout the year. So Kenneth finally getting up at 6 a.m. Okay. All right. That's good. So Kenneth, what I would also challenge you to do for 2025 is, okay, you're getting up at 6 a.m. And what I want you to do is create your morning game plan as far as what you do from 6 a.m. till the entire day. So really, things that I see from successful traders and highly successful people is that they're really good with time management. And if you look at pretty much any minute of the day, they know what they should be doing at that point in the day. If they're not trading or doing something else or doing R&D, they have pretty much all of the days planned out as far as what they do from the time they wake up to the time they close. So that's super, super important to make sure that you're doing that. So controlling risk, Justin said, and remaining consistent, my sizing perfect. Um, Now something we'll touch on later, Justin, as well. Journaling every day, perfect, perfect. Finish two TOS scripts after the summer internship, perfect, Enrique. So these are all great things here. And again, you necessarily don't want to just focus necessarily on P&L achievements. I think again for new and developing traders and traders who are trying to get on the path of consistency, these are things that you need to focus on. So next we're going to go to missed goals. Okay. You want to identify areas of progress where you fell short. Okay. So for example, where you were failing to stop out on your trades on a consistent basis. Okay. And this is something that you wanted to control and you weren't able to do that last year. Okay. So these are in this area. These are areas where you want to discuss and go into detail, have a conversation with yourself about what took place here on these missed goals. What were the missed goals and why you missed it. So these are areas you definitely want to talk about. And in my last meeting, and I definitely encourage everyone to go back and look at the last meeting that I held about the yearly review. And I feel that each week you should hold a conversation with yourself. So roughly somewhere around, again, you should have maybe about 50 conversations with yourself for the year, somewhere around there in itself. And it should be like a wrap up. You're sitting in like a shrink's office, or you're talking to a friend, or you're talking to yourself, pretty much. And it's a conversation that you should have, kind of walking through what took place for the week, things you maybe did well, missteps you took. So, each week you should definitely have a conversation with yourself. And so that's super, super important. So, this is somewhere to focus on that where we get to miss goals. Next, we're going to go to our lessons learned. Okay, when we're reflecting about 2024, you're going to highlight the key takeaways from success and failures. So, example I have here, reflecting during underperformance, help you maintain focus and improve quickly, right? And key things here from, when you're underperforming, one of the key things you have to do, and it should be you're consistent all the time. But what I find is that sometimes, and some of you may have experienced this, when you're going through a rough patch, some of you ease off the gas pedal when it comes to your processes. For example, your daily reviews. So for example, your journaling throughout the day. These are the times that when you're supposed to be full throttle with your review process, making sure that you're intimate with your trading stats, intimate with what's taking place and what's going on in the market. So again, you definitely want to make sure in itself that you're reflecting, on underperformance or reflecting on areas where you performed. So on areas or pockets in the year, or if you, did well throughout the year, what do you think helped? Was it your review process? Was it was a hot market environment if you specialized in low floats, or was it a hot market, environment because we had like a really strong market and focused in on the right names or the right sectors, you were good to go. So you really want to understand, like, just go through and really internalize the lessons that you learned throughout the year in your reflection for 2024. Okay. Um, and I have here, so Justin said, missed A+ opportunities, trying to predict a turn and taking away paper cuts along the way. So again, Justin, key thing to put there, as far as lessons learned, we have to creating a checklist, Justin, for going through, for taking a turn, right? You want to put keys in place whether it's volume, where you should see volume increasing on the 1 minute chart. For example, if you're looking at intraday reversals, looking for exhaustion, looking for some type of blow off top or blow off bottom in itself, and just looking at and studying really those best setups for the year and why they worked and how they worked and the characteristics there. Okay, and Oliver, you quit your job to start trading full time. So Oliver, just one thing I just want to say there, and this is just for anybody, not just pointed out for you, Oliver. Something that's super important, and something again, as I said, I've been here with the company since 2009. Prior to that, I was in school and in college and stuff like that, and I was like all in on trading in itself, like just all in 150%. But one thing that, again, I'm not sure of your financial situation or where you are, but one thing that's super important where I see sometimes traders failing is that they don't have enough money necessarily to carry them around the curve. So just make sure that you budget correctly. Make sure that you understand. And for me, and how I can say, you can probably talk to any trainee that I hire, anyone that I bring onto the desk here in Miami. I'm telling them no matter what, you should be giving it 2 to 3 years of yourself to really understand and find consistency. And that's, talking about, and sometimes it doesn't happen in that way. Sometimes it takes 4 years, sometimes it takes 5 years in itself. So, not sure of each person's path, but I want to make sure that you're mapping out your road to success, your path to success properly. And that's by, also giving yourself enough runway to be able to succeed. So just want to throw that out there to everyone to make sure that you give yourself enough time to succeed. I've seen a lot of people before they turn that curve to profitability, consistency, they either run out of funds or, just the patience or anything else. So I just wanted to be upfront, fully disclosure. Again, I'm not going to tell you, hey, you trade this one strategy, you're going to be able to print money, 5 day within 2 weeks time. I'm not going to do that. Trading, learning how to be consistent and be able to survive, different markets. You have to, just understand what's taking place in the market, understand what's taking place in your trading, what's working for you, what doesn't work. And again, just having that consistency. So definitely give yourself some more time there. That's super important. Leo, identifying my edge in my playbook, super important. You really want to, and again, sometimes, what I want to say, risk management is super important. But what happens if you have no edge, right? In trading, then you really have no playbook. And then really you can't have risk management. I say that risk management is number one. But again, if you have no edge, there shouldn't be any risk management plan. So identifying where your edges is super important. Okay, so that's a really good goal to reflect on for 2024. Definitely want to, again, have lofty goals, but not unreasonable goals where you're putting pressure on yourself to be able to make it. Because again, when we're trading and when we're focused, when the bell rings and the preparation in the morning and when we get up out of bed, again, we don't want to have things hanging over us, that are affecting us externally. So we want to make sure that, outside of trading, all our bases are covered. So again, a lot of things are not affecting us and we do not bring that into the market in itself when we trade each day because, this is our job. So goals for the year, trading performance goals. Okay. So risk management. Okay. So what we want to do is maybe, again, limit your largest drawdown to 3% of your yearly P&L, right? Again, just making sure that what I see, and especially from new and developing traders, is I see new and developing traders taking large losses, and not necessarily here, just out in general in trading, taking large losses that are far outsized, and they're usually unplanned trades. But usually the trades that we put on, we definitely understand as far as how much risk that we should be putting on, how much we should be deploying and giving the time, how much time should we work. Where people usually lose the most are those unplanned trades or not hitting out of a trade that you're in as planned. So again, super important, again, to make sure you're dialing through your stats in itself, going through just understanding where you're losing money, how you're losing money in itself, and making sure on a risk management wise that you're limiting your large drawdowns and putting rules in place to make sure this is done. Number two, capitalizing on high conviction trades. I have here objective, increase position size on an A plus trade by 20%. And again, you can input anything here. A lot of this is just, again, a template that I have here, and you can take this template and can make it into anything that you want to, okay? And then showing that, you have right here, I said again, increase position size on A plus trades by 20%. Okay. And then by doing that in itself, this helps grow your P&L curve. And one thing I would say, as far as, the A plus trades or the A plus plus trades, um, these trades probably come for these A plus 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 trades or A plus trades. They probably only come maybe a few times of the year. And it's stuff like most recently, like the MSTR trade towards the end of last year, into that reversal, trades like that. And this is where a lot of the experienced traders, trades, in itself make anywhere a good portion of their P&L in these A plus trades. And sometimes for the year, anywhere from 60 to 70% maybe for some traders come from these A plus trades. So, these are things to think about. Yes, definitely we want to have our scalp trades. Yes, definitely we want to have like our intraday trades. In itself, of course, we want to have that business, but we really want to understand, be in the business of making sure we're scaling our A plus trades, because this is where, again, since we're deploying most of our risk, we're usually in these setups where most of our, our P&L is going to come from. May not be from everybody, but in a lot of these A plus trades, again, this is where you want to make sure that you're scaling and growing. And of course, we want to grow our book of business for our Bs, B pluses, As, and A plus. But for our best, our creme de la creme, our best trades, we want to make sure that we're, again, growing this business. And this is something that you want to make sure that you're doing, just in general, is a goal for yourself is growing your risk. Okay. And that's going to be done through the processes of defining criteria for your A plus trades, reviewing past successful trades for patterns, confirm with the team if you're trading with a team or another trader on the setup to make sure it meets the A plus criteria. And again, some of you may say, hey, I'm not trading with anyone. I'm here by myself. Here again, we're building a community here that you can reach out to on Discord and find someone. And again, this is I think like a perfect time to trade or to start trading, because you have so many resources out there, whether it be online or through networks or wherever. You have so many resources out there where you can connect with other people, you can connect with other traders. And especially since like 2020, when this markets exploded and people were home, or again, not at work, and they were able to focus on markets to do something. And this is where you saw a real like flood of traders come into the market. But again, making sure that you can reach out and find other people who have similar interests like yourself, and connect with them. And they're definitely out there. You might have to, if you're an introvert, again, might be a little bit more difficult, but you definitely have to reach out and kind of grow your network, and connect with other people. So that should be also a goal if you're an introvert for the year, is making sure that you're able to connect with other people. Next, I'm going to go into diversifying strategies. Diversifying strategies are super important, because you can say definitely, hey, I'm going to, this is my one setup. I'm going to focus on this in itself. But hey, you have to understand one thing. One thing that's super important is setups, they work, they can be cyclical. Okay. Just for example, I know a trader who just focuses on low floats. And that can be dangerous sometimes. And it's dangerous sometimes because the low float business can be cyclical, where they're hot for a period of time and then they kind of go away. And he only trades low float setup. So when the low floats get hot, it's really good for him. Things are flowing, but when it gets slow, there's nothing going on. Hey, I'm checking in with you. What are you doing? Not too much. What are you doing? Nothing. Again, so you have to make sure that you have to think of yourself as a carpenter, and what you want to do is, again, whichever job is, let's say you're putting up sheetrock, or you're going to put up a bathroom, or you're going to again build a pool, whatever it is, you're going to need different tools. So just like you approach the market, when there's different setups and there's different environments, you have to bring the right tool to the market. So again, you have to be versatile in this business and be able to adapt and have different strategies. It's fine when you're starting out just to get good at one thing, but you're definitely going to have to branch out from there. Not saying that you have to, but again, to be able to withstand those periods of times where certain strategies go dormant and then another setup might work. So remember, even though, for example, in the year we have summer, winter, fall, all that stuff, depending on where you live, maybe summer year round where you live, or winter year round where you live. But within a year in the market, we can go through like 20 different seasons itself. And some of you experienced that. So it's super important to make sure that, again, you want to be growing your playbook, and that's super important there. So perfect. So what I'll do here is move on next to consistency with easy money trades. Here, again, objective develop, and again, these are all examples, develop consistency and executing trades with lower risk and higher probability. And this is something that we go through in a meeting each week on Mondays at 4:15. So, we'll start to get back to that next week in regards to that, as far as with our easy money trades. But again, in this meeting, what we're trying to do is try and put in your lap and just review with them some of these easy money trades, low hanging fruit, these trades that like just pretty much basic layups in itself, and or a slap shot if you play hockey with no goal there and from the goal. These are the things that you want to look at and focus at. And again, and then I have here for steps to achieve: track all the trades in your journal, identify patterns, reflect on those worst trades for monthly improvement in itself, and just making sure that monthly review process is so important, just so that you're identifying even the weekly review process, so you're identifying these patterns on a regular basis and being able to take advantage of them. Okay, and just remember, for each market environment, there's certain trades or low hanging fruit trades or easy money trades that are just very easy. So you have to identify them and be able to take advantage of it. And in these meetings, we definitely do that. So looking forward to doing that for everyone here in 2025. Okay. And that's a key thing here. And one thing I would say in itself, these were the two things here that helped me for 2025 as far as grow my P&L and my book, was capitalizing on the high conviction trades here. So focusing on these, again, this is where you go for example. So for example, some of you may be more experienced traders. I'm not sure who's out there. Someone may be putting on, we're looking at the same trade setup, but you're using, I'm just using just arbitrary numbers. You're using $100, and I'm using maybe X of that, whether it's 20, 40, 50, 60K, whatever it is. We're taking some of the same trades. The whole point is for you to be able to scale that business up, because if we're taking the same trades and we're just using different numbers, we're doing the same thing. In theory, you're doing the same thing as me, it's just the numbers are different, the size is different. So being able to increase the position sizing on these makes a dramatic difference in your overall P&L. So these are things that you want to identify and make sure for 2025, you're able to do that. That's where I saw, again, the biggest growth for me. Number two, and also number four, consistency with the easy money trades. These are trades that help build your baseline on a month-to-month basis, whether it's the scalps, whether it's the trades that we talk about intraday, but these are the things that helped improve my baseline the most. So between number two and number four, definitely key drive. All of these are important, but these two things were really good drivers for my P&L this year in itself. So these are things I wanted to focus on here. Personal development goals, leadership and collaboration. You can say, how am I going to be a leader if I'm trading by yourself? So this is what I'm challenging everyone for 2025. And I believe, again, I had to switch around as far as the yearly goals, because I feel, and from my experience and from what I've seen over the years, the people who are doing the best, the groups are doing the best, the traders who are doing the best are working in a group with other traders. And this is why I encourage everyone to reach out and network with other traders. It's super, super important. We're creating a community here where you can do that also through the Discord community that's there. There's many trading clubs. There's many online areas where you can find other people, online spaces where you can find people. And again, this is completely different from when I first started trading. Back in the day, I'm not sure, I'm going to age myself, but we had Yahoo forums and things like that. So for anyone that is remembers using that, and Chip, this is something I'm going to challenge you to definitely do for this year. And again, someone just said post your work in Discord. So collaborate. Try to lead a biweekly meeting with a pod, or take turns leading a meeting with a group. Connect with other people. So this is something that I want everyone to do. I want everyone to take a turn being a leader, in itself. And because when you're working in a group, everyone's going to have a different strength, in itself. Someone may be good at scalping. Someone may be good at like breaking down the news. Someone may be good at doing the technicals. Someone may not necessarily have anything necessarily that they can contribute to the group yet, but help with doing resources. But eventually, maybe that person can be a trader that's actually slamming into positions and identifying trades. So again, these are the different interworkings of a group itself that could be there. So again, discuss topics monthly, weekly, gather feedback from peers and other mentees. Super, super important. So that's, again, for personal development goals. And this is why I felt that this part was important for everyone to kind of push themselves and really get out there and, collaborate with others. Learning from others. And this kind of goes back to collaborate with other traders on strategy development. Again, and one thing that I did here also was schedule weekly one-on-ones with experienced traders who are consistent and inside your network. You may say, hey, I do not have anyone in my network. So you need to try to connect with people. There's so many people out there that are willing to help other people. You just have to reach out to them. Also, I put here, again, if you don't have the ability to do that and you're not able to reach out to someone, what you can do is, there's I believe there's a decent amount of consistent traders that are posting free material out there, whether it's on, X or, whatever, stock Twitch, whatever it is. There's, plenty of venues out there, I believe, where people are actually posting information, putting good information out there. And then if you try to connect or post some of your information, and actually, so one of my trainees that I hired here for the desk in Miami, and this is the complete truth. I found him through X. I call it Twitter, but I found him through X. I literally found him online. Literally found him online. Never met him before. Never saw his resume or anything like that. You know what his resume was? His resume was his daily reviews. Okay, that was his resume for me. And then of course, being able to connect with him, and all that good stuff. But that's how I found him, was online, in itself. And if I can find someone that's online doing good work, you can and hire them. You can definitely find other people out there that are putting out good work and wanting to help people. Maybe I can also find you out there also. So again, that's why it's super, super important. And I think that, we're in a different time and we have to adapt to the times. That's something I would never think of doing, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. But, this is the time that we're in, and this is how we have to adapt, and I have to adapt in itself. So super, super important to make sure that you are out there learning from others in itself. Okay. Again, teaming up with fellow traders, engage in joint trading books and share strategies itself, where you're trading books together. For example, some of the trainees on a desk are reading Market Wizards together in itself, and talking about it. So these are some of the things that you can do. I'm not telling you to do this, but this is what helps build those connections. Helps you find other traders that are interested in the same topics of you, and how you can complement each other. So again, super simple things there that you can do there. I have also mindset and mental performance goals. Okay, these are important as well. Building confidence, just strengthen mental resilience to recover from losses faster, right? Building confidence. And that's done from practicing and putting together your DRCs, your daily journal, however you want to do it in itself, and making that process very streamlined, so you know exactly where you're at. And I remember, so funny, Heather, I'm going to use you as an example. Sorry, I'm not going to share your story out there in itself. Super, super impressed by her. I actually met her. She came out to when I had the happy hour and towards the end of last year, at the office, by the office. Um, and was super impressed by her journals, what she was doing, her process, and that she was going through. So again, you want to make sure that you're daily journaling on, again, emotional triggers, mindset, and you can include that in your process. And I believe I was talking to someone that was just started waking up at 6 a.m. this morning. Sorry to have to go back. This is something that you can do, is make sure in the morning, including your process, that you're journaling as far as your mindset, how you feel mentally, how you feel physically in the morning. That's super important, because I believe, that physical and mental mindset can also bleeds into your training. So these are things that you want to make sure that you're aware of, and then also making sure that, again, you're building your confidence by just reviewing and just journaling and just seeing where you're making missteps, if you're making any missteps, and seeing how you can be able to correct them. Okay. Number two here I have is maintaining discipline. You want to stick to predefined stop losses in 100% of your trades. Okay. Maintaining discipline. So that should be for everyone. Okay. That should definitely be for everyone. Um, again, these are things that you want to talk about. And Kenneth, I'm going to get back to you on that. Maintaining discipline is super important here. So maybe, a processy that you can put in there to achieve that is using automated alerts for stop levels. So for example, right now I have a trainee who has an issue hitting out when it hits to stop, right? So what I did was make sure is there's an automated this automated stop for him that just bails the position if he hits a stop or hits a stop for the trade. So, these are things that you can make sure that you're doing to make sure that you're maintaining discipline. Reflect on your discipline metrics weekly. Use daily, weekly, and monthly stops. Super important with it, that in itself. So again, maintaining discipline. These are goals. You want to have a goal of, again, stick to the predefined stop losses. You can input anything here, but anything risk management, I believe is super important here. So make sure you definitely work on this, take some time and go through here and create those steps. And again, just a reminder, for each of these, you should be creating, for each objective that you have, you should be creating the processes to achieve that goal. Because everyone at the beginning of the year, they create goals. I'm going to do X, I'm going to do Y, I'm going to do Z, but they do not create the processes to attain those goals. Okay, so think about all the goals that you've set before, right? And figure out why you didn't achieve those goals. And I'm pretty sure the root cause is, or part of the root cause is because you didn't create any processes to achieve those goals. Okay, so let's make sure we move on from there. So emotional connection to goals. Okay, objective, creating a compelling vision of success and maintain focus on it. So for anyone, it could be I just like to win. I want to be successful. I want to buy X. I want to be able to buy Y. I want to be able to buy Z. I want financial freedom. So you really want to create, I want to eat. Kenneth, we're gonna ban you. I'm gonna ban you, okay? You're a joker. You want to be able to emotionally connect with that goal. And it just makes it that much better for you when you have an emotional connection to that goal. And for example, for me, success is being able to, and my vision as far as, and why it's emotionally connected to me is helping other people succeed. That's one of my goals. Putting myself in a position to help people succeed, whether it's in trading or outside of trading, whether it's being able to help family or friends or whatever it is being able to help people. That's one of my goals. And it feels good being able to do that. It just feels good in itself. And that's one of my goals that I help as far as being able to succeed and be able to achieve my goal. And for example, like if I don't achieve this goal and not necessarily saying I'm locking into a P&L goal for the year. I don't want to, I talked about that briefly in the last meeting, but I want to make sure that I'm making it clear, and I'm going to say this flat out for 2025, is reviewing it, that I'm not going to set a P&L goal cell for myself for 2025 or 2026 or 2027. What I'm going to focus on are the processes that I have in place to achieve my goals. Because again, I'm not sure what type of market 2025 is going to bring. I'm not sure what type of market 2026 is going to bring. And if I have a number hanging over my head, hey, maybe I may not hit that number. But if the market environment is not there, then what can I do? How can I pull market money out of a market environment where the money is not there, right? So again, what I want to focus on is being able to focus on my processes, achieve and execute all my processes for my goals. That's the super most important thing to do. And again, like I'm saying here, write down the consequences of not achieving goals. I'm giving you an example. Then visualize the success and connect emotionally with the outcomes. And these are the drivers. This is the why you wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning. This is the why you quit your job. This is the why, right? So, and I'm telling people, I always tell trainees, again, you're not guaranteed a paycheck every Friday or every other Friday, right? It's just not going to happen. It's pretty much whatever you kill, that's what you eat, right? So again, if you're again going to sacrifice and not necessarily be an employee or an independent contractor and have consistent income coming in, right? And you're just going to say, I'm going to sign up for the game to be a trader. You have to understand that if you're giving 150%, then you need to, if you're making that sacrifice, you have to give 150% and commit to these processes. So that's super important there. And I feel like the emotional connection to your goals is super important. Next I have here is adaptability goals. Adaptability goals, super important. Reacting to market changes, adaptive strategies to changing market regimes. Steps to achieve, monitor P&L, backtest strategies for trending and choppy markets. Something that you can do, again, if you have the ability to do so. But adapting to changing markets, and this is why you have to be intimate with your stats, with your review, whether you're using TradeReview, TradeZilla, whatever you're using, you have to be intimate with your stats. When you see like one of your setups that you've labeled, right, and you've archived and you have there and you're tracking your stats and your setups, and you start to see as far as P&L moving in other direction, you need to be reactive, right? In itself, not reactive, you need to be proactive, I should say. Sorry, it's better to be proactive than reactive, right? Where you're seeing, okay, my numbers are shifting here. I'm seeing some variance in my P&L, which I didn't normally see. What's changing here? What are the characteristics that are changing? Is it the environment? Is it the setup? Was it the sector? Is it the follow through? So you want to really understand, what's taking place. And you can do that by being intimate with your trading stats. Super important here. Next, what we're going to go to is utilizing technology. Okay. What I'm challenging everyone to do is leverage data analysis tools for trade reviews. As I have here is TradeReview, TradeZilla, whatever tool that you have. If you have, again, Excel modeling background, or you know Python or any other language, try to create a tool there. Or maybe you say, hey, I'm going to try to create a filter or something like that. You can use trade ideas if you don't want to do that. Again, there's so many other so many tools that you have at your fingers where you can access, and filters where you can put trades in front of you. Okay. Use software to track and analyze key performance metrics, and that kind of bleeds right through to TradeReview and TradeZilla. So definitely want to utilize technology there. Okay. What we're going to have next is measuring progress, right? And how we measure progress. What we're going to do is we're going to have monthly check-ins, okay? And that's like a monthly review that, same thing that we do here at SMB, and we do with the teams, and we do with the teams on a monthly basis is, again, review the month. And that could be pretty much a summary from all of your conversations that you have with yourself for the month, which will roughly be maybe about 4 conversations. Because remember, I told everyone here that you should have a conversation with yourself, kind of like a journal entry once a week, kind of summing up the week. And at the end of the month, you should have 4 of those. And you should see the main takeaways, what you improved on, what you did well on, what you didn't do well on, areas you need to improve, areas where you need to help, what you need to remove from your trading. So that's super important. in itself. And it shouldn't be just a review on a monthly basis, on yourself. You should be checking in with those weekly conversations, but also reviewing your stats as well. Okay. And you need to review your goals and adjust your action steps as needed when you're doing these monthly check-ins for your goals to make sure that you're on your way to that path of success. So that's super important there. What you want to do are also important things here are your quarterly reviews. Again, reviewing the quarter, see how everything's taking place, how you're progressing, and make any changes or recalibrate if you need to. So that's super important. Lev asks, would you recommend fear or greed-based goals? Fear or greed-based goals? Greed-based goals. So Lev, um, greed, I would say I wouldn't have greed-based goals based off because I want to remove the P&L necessarily from it. What I would say, Lev, is the key question that you should ask yourself is, am I taking advantage of all my A plus trades? Am I taking advantage of all my setups? So what you can do at the end of the month is probably grade yourself on a scale from 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, how well you did with taking advantage of all your A plus trades or A trades, B plus trades. And I think from there, that can give you your answer for what you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, we're measured on, not by necessarily P&L. Yeah, people like to look at P&L, but I think that's not the end all be all. What we should be measured on is, did we take advantage of the best trades that were in our playbook, our best trades that we should have been in. That's super important. Quarterly reviews, super important in itself. So just pretty much wrapping up that. Key metrics you should be focusing on as far as largest green day, largest red day, P&L consistency. And these are the key metrics also. One thing, especially for new and developing traders, one thing I want to focus on is for everyone to make sure that at the end of the day, when you're trying to find a consistency, you should try to be, again, you're just starting out, to get consistent, you should try to be green at the end of the week. Okay, not putting a P&L goal there, but what I have here is probably 3 days green, 1 day red, 1 day flat for the week. Okay, and then that should probably be something to help you get. And again, that red day should not be just an outside loss. Okay, this because it may not be able to be covered by those 3 days. But this is kind of a good metric that I use as far as when approaching the market to kind of grade as far as like this overall consistency, and this kind of helps guide you through the week. All right, and then you can use that score from that 1 to 10 itself to help push you on as far as again for those quarterly reviews or monthly reviews, how consistent you are for the month or for the quarter or for, again, semi-annually. Next, moving to the concluding vision. And, again, reflect on how achieving these goals will contribute to your long-term success by focusing on adaptability and collaboration. I'll position myself. These are all examples I'm using here. So again, you have to tailor fit this to yourself. Okay. And, again, I know I'm harping a lot on this collaboration and groups because I'm harping on that. I'm spending a lot of time on that. I'm focusing on that because this is where I see people grow the fastest when they work in groups with other people. That's where I've seen the fastest growth. So again, I'll continue to focus on that until that proves me otherwise. And also, one thing that someone says is that, they're usually up late at night. Again, you want to, just wanted to put a reminder that you remember, this is, you want to think of yourself as a professional athlete. And you want to think of yourself, and this is actually, one thing I'll just reflect on. When I was talking to my son, I took him out last night because we went out throughout the day. And he promised, he said, please take me to play basketball. Please take me to the park. Please take me to the park. Please take me to the park. And it was like 6:30 or whatever it was. I was like, my wife was like, no, he can't go. It's too late. But I said, I promised him, so I'm going to take him. But I told him like, hey, we can go, but you remember, we're going to be here for like 15 minutes. You have to get back, you have to eat, shower, get to bed. Because I told him, like, you look at Curry, like Curry's his favorite basketball player now. Again, last year's favorite sport was soccer. So, and his favorite was Messi, but now his favorite player is Curry, right? And I told him, like, before every game, Curry is getting his sleep. He's going to bed on time. He's prepping. He's kind of walking through his day for the next day for the game. But it all starts with going to bed on time. And I told him that, like, hey, you have to go to bed on time to be able to be fresh, be ready for the next day and for the next challenge. And that's super, super important. And that bleeds out to everything where again, you have to be prepared. You have to have like a schedule for the day. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, getting enough hours in so you're fresh and prepared for the next day. So, these are things that you want to make sure that you're including in your vision of how you get to your success, how you have that growth oriented mindset, embrace challenges. And again, I have here for the mission statement, and this is what you can do yourself, create this for yourself. Do my job daily with consistent discipline, execution, and selective trading. And again, make a mission statement for yourself, an ethos that you can live by. And again, super, super important here. If anyone has any questions, please post them. But I look forward to 2025, everything it has offered or does not offer in itself. And just look to adapt into the market, and I open the year with with open arms. I open the market with fresh, open ideas and embrace it and be ready for the upcoming year. So please do that. Please put your processes in place. Please put yourself in the best position possible to be, successful for 2025. And thank you everyone for joining in.
If you don't actively trade US stocks, skip this video. It's not for you. If you do, we're betting you've tried every trading strategy, followed every advice available, and bought every course, but nothing seems to work consistently. We're betting that you always feel like you're so close to consistent profitability, but it's like there's an invisible wall that keeps you stuck and unable to break through no matter how hard you try. You're not alone. That's because a study of tens of millions of trades spanning 15 years, done by a group of researchers at the University of California, Davis, has shown that a staggering 99% of active retail traders never reach long-term consistent profitability. That is far, far worse than the generally quoted number of 90%, which makes this next stat even more interesting. At our firm, S&B Capital, our new stock traders reach the status of sustaining consistently profitable trader at roughly 20 to 40 times the rate of independent retail traders. That is an absolutely staggering difference in success rate. But why is this the case? We've put together a detailed video dissecting why that is and how you can finally break through to the consistently profitable side. So click the link on your screen now to watch this eye-opening video. When you watch the video, you'll also be getting 3 cheat sheets with the exact entry, stop, exit, and other precise execution rules for 3 of our top performing stock trading strategies that have made our firms tens of millions of dollars collectively. This gift alone is worth far more than the few minutes of your time watching the video. And if you haven't heard of us, we're not some funding company calling itself a prop firm. We're one of the world's most elite and respected proprietary trading firms, and we've been growing steadily throughout all types of market conditions since 2005. We have over 50 professional traders on our floor, including multiple 7-figure and even 8-figure per year traders. In fact, our top traders have each made nearly 20 million in net trading profits in a single year, multiple times. So click the link on your screen to watch the potentially game-changing video we've put together for you and get the exact entry, stop, and exit rules of 3 of our top performing stock trading strategies, all for free.